And a very good evening, everyone. Welcome. Five in the Ansett Australia Cup for 1998. Everett and Primus will go at it. Everett caught underneath, taps it down, looks for Burke. Brown, a little give, chance for the Saints. Keogh, long left footer, well inside 50. Lappert at the fall of the ball, couldn't quite take it. Thompson a chance onto the left. Saints with the advantage of, well, you probably reckon it's about a 4-goal breeze. Here's a chance for the first goal. Beautiful snap, Heatley, and he puts it through. And that...
So St Kilda quickly on the board, the first goal to Heatley. In only a matter of seconds, the centre bounce crucial at this early stage of the season. Eagleton wins this one for Port. Into the half-forward line. The loose ball there. Corns caught from behind, has a second go. The heavy clash there from Hudson. Port Adelaide working it across half-forward. The quick kick out into space, but it rolls across the line. Just there in front of Danny Morton. One of the new players here tonight, the St Kilda bench. 6 players on the interchange bench through the Ansett Cup this year. And as you can see, it's a very crowded lineup, some sitting on the ground. Everett from behind, puts it down. Cripps is in the front position for the Saints. No risk, moving it towards the boundary line, but Hutchins brought it back inboard. This is dangerous. Port with a chance, they just need to be able to win it. Cripps in on top of it, and the umpire comes in to bounce the ball. So St Kilda with the first goal, and Port now with their opportunity.
You mentioned 6 on the bench, Terry. They needed every one of them last week in Cape Town. It was a lot warmer than it is here, but much more footy-like weather after the cool change came through yesterday. Cummings had a chance, overran the ball, and that's out of bounds in the right forward pocket for Port Power. Port Power going against what you would reckon would be about a 4-goal breeze. It's a pretty stiff southerly, and that's the weather. Moderate to fresh winds, we've got those. Expected minimum overnight is 14. You reckon feeling close to that now. Everett thought about the hand pass. Goes to the Brownlow medalist Harvey, gets a play on call from the umpire. Burke, well tackled Wilson. Jones. Gets down towards left half forward. Goodman. Taken by Adam Fuscus. The Power get it moving quickly. Running it out of defence. Lyle. It's caught.
It's a bit cute walk, KB.
Might have been touched off the boot. Let's wait and see. It rolls, it rolls, it rolls. It's a behind anyway. Just beating Paxman over the line.
Stan Elves will be pleased with the pressure put on by the St Kilda running players, and also across the half-forward line, because you can see Port Power last year wanted to move the ball at all costs, and you've got to put pressure on them so you can cause that turnover. And with quick players like Aussie Jones, they can run down players. Also, St Kilda using some strong weight, which they did very well in one of the finals last year against North Melbourne. Not so good against Adelaide in the grand final.
Paxman to Bond to centre wing. Just a little bit of a nudge there for Aussie Jones in the back, in the middle of the interchange area on centre wing. Eddie Primus picks himself up, and we'll see a throw-in right in front of their commentary position.
Near the central umpire, wide for sound, calling Spider to go for the ball. He does. Peckett working with Brown, but taken now by Eagleton. Steps out, pushes it on back. A fumble there by Carr, couldn't take it cleanly, but they've come forward again towards the near side and again out of bounds.
Well, Shane Wakeland has lined up on Scotty Cummings, and this is a position that St Kilda has to fill, losing Jamie Shanahan. Max Hudson has been picking up young Chad Corns. So important to him, because the forward line of Port Power last year was very ordinary, because they had Scotty Cummings with 70 goals, and the next highest goal kicker was just 17.
So St Kilda now working from half-back. Peckett and Lappin. Finally to Brown. The kick, not a good one from Tony Brown on the left foot. It's gone out wide. Big Cook, Brett Cook, showing agility here. Feeds back inboard. Carr, the running player, to Heatley. He has one on the board. Full forward, shoots on the run. Was drifted right across the face of goal. And even though the breeze is favouring that end, it's still going to be quite difficult, because it does tend to swirl within Footy Park here. Mead, best and fairest player last year for Port Adelaide. To half back, there's the big jump, Lyle. So Braden Lyle key player in the midfield, takes a very strong mark.
He's at right half back, Braden Lyle. 2-on-1 contest. Saints with the numbers. Ball out of bounds, you'd reckon. Cotton tries to snare it, but the boundary umpire just a little bit too close. Let's take a look at Lyle's grab again. Had to sit on Nathan Burke. Nice grab.
Good work, good call. Head the footy, guys, again. No holding.
Terry said.
No holding.
Umpires wide for sound in the Ansett Australia Cup. That might have been just a tad too high from Stephen Ziller. It's going to be a Port Power free kick. And the recipient is Nathan Eagleton at right centre wing. Eagleton, long. Not a bad kick against the breeze. Again, St Kilda with the numbers. Shane Wakeland, it is, has the mark. Both Wakelands in the side tonight. Harvey. Brownlow medalist, and looks like in Brownlow medal form. Kick could have been just a little bit better. It was Kingsley, Adam Kingsley, who took the mark. Kick comes back whence it came. St Kilda again with the numbers. Nobody can pull it down. Cotton inside 50 for Port Power. Well, plenty of weight being used there. Wakeland takes the hand pass. The umpire says play on. Big Everett's on his own. He's got Pickett running for him if he wants him. He has one bounce, the Spider. Kicks up towards centre wing. Sirakoski nearly. The umpire doesn't play the mark. And play continues. Short pass. Lappin. Saints looking all right. Kick comes down towards half forward. It's coming back. Matthew Carr. And play there, the youngster from East Fremantle.
Well, Jason Cripps is a ball carrier. He's got that tremendous pace. You can see Heatley there being shoved out. So it was silly play by the defence. And there's Michael Wilson, Norwich rising star. Looks like he's copped the knock early in the game. Had the job playing on Robert Harvey so far in this quarter.
Might be half a chance to kick this.
Well, he should make the distance.
Agrees that he's back. Got the distance. I don't think the accuracy. So 1-1 to... No, he's got it.
So the 2 goals to St Kilda, both to Jason Heatley. And what a revelation he's been since crossing to St Kilda last year. A couple of games and a couple of goals in a couple of years at West Coast. But he has really lifted the Saints here. And as they come again, Brown's left foot kick probes into the forward line. Heatley competitive at ground level. Michael Wilson sitting the game out. Matty, what is the state of Michael Wilson?
Terry, a bad blow for Port so early in the game and so early in the season. Michael's got a bad cork thigh, and that's upset their team balance because he was following Robert Harvey.
So the ball, forward pocket for St Kilda. The weight there being used by Zilla. Eagleton busy to Stevens, one of the new players taken in the draft. Nick Stevens, again just forcing it forward for Port Adelaide. Burke, a little up. Taken away by Cotton. Jared Cotton into half forward. Here it comes the fullback charging out Wakeland well in front of Cummings. Good anticipation, good reading of the play, and he's dealt with after his kick by Scott Cummings.
Yeah, Scotty Cummings has got to read that play a lot better. It's no good being caught 20 metres behind your man when you can see that your teammate is coming down the field and he's under pressure. He's not going to deliver a kick that's going to hit you on the chest. So you've got to push up so you give him a target so that you can actually make a contest of it. So
Darryl Wakeland took the resultant kick downfield, but it's on its way back. Danny Morton drags the ball around. Here's the contest at half forward. Wakeland.
And Brendan Lade also has to make it a contest. You can't have defenders taking easy marks across half-back. Lade's also got to make a contest, otherwise they'll never get a crumb. So Shane and Darryl Wakeland controlling across half-back for the Saints. Cripps breaks through in short. Cook. Cripps on the overrun, building it up here. The long kick in. This is very deep and penetrating. Everett. That's the way to play footy park. Nice direct football, and that's one thing Jason Cripps did last year. Got a ton of pace, carries the ball, then he can kick it 50 metres. So if he runs 15 at 65 metres, gets good penetration. And when you've got guys down there who can mark, like Peter Everett with those long arms, 201 centimetres, it's the way to play the game. So Everett missed the grand final with a collarbone injury on the way back. He's kicked pretty well. They've got
19 points the margin. Early days yet. Port going against a pretty stiff breeze. Primus wins it about as far as he's gone. Brown. He'll come again. Well, nearly Lyle. Off a step. Kicks out towards centre wing. One-on-one contest. Aussie Jones giving chase. Lyle chasing him. Lyle comes again. Jones, good hand pass. Harvey, Shepherd from Peckett. Beautiful delivery. Heatley, chance for his third.
And Heatley will always lead. I think that's one of the good aspects of his game. He's not one of those full forwards who wants to push back all the time and get his teammates to kick the ball over the head of his opponent. He'll always come forward.
Well, the Saints could blow this game wide open in the first quarter, like Brisbane did against Fremantle in Cape Town. They kicked 6-7 in the first quarter, and they could never catch them. Now, what can Heatley do here? Will it be number 3 from 35 metres? It's close. Close as you can get. One behind. A poster. 3-2 to nothing. 11 minutes 51 left in the quarter. Paxman to bring the ball back. Former Lion and key defender. Well, Port, you reckon, have got to get a couple of goals on quickly just to stay in touch, just to lift the side a little bit. That's a great mark. Now, is it going to be a mark or will it be a throw-in? It's going to be the latter. That's not going to please the crowd.
It's a big call from boundary umpire, isn't it? He's making...
Well, let's have a look at it. He may have taken a second grab over the line here.
Primus inboard. Oh, gee, probably a correct decision, Terry.
And I think we'll see more of that, though, that boundary umpires start to assist the field umpires in making the most appropriate decision.
So they should.
Yep.
All we want is the correct decision.
Number 18, Jason Cripps, going in solidly on the pack. It's going to be a ball up. About 20 players around it. Port fans. Adelaide against Everett. Everett wins it. Burke. St Kilda's small men doing well. Cripps tackled well by Cotton. Ball jarred free in the tackle. That might have been a little high. That'll be a Port power free kick.
I think Stan Elves would be pretty happy with the physical nature of St Kilda.
Lyle, not too good here.
When they won their 9 games on end last year, they were quite a physical side. And unfortunately, when they got to the grand final against the Crows, that aspect of the game was missing.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. Players like Rod Keogh and Zilla, always very hard and
very
aggressive at the ball. Yep. And I'd say, they're led by a fine group in the middle. I mean, you don't get anyone harder at the ball than Nathan Burke. And Tony Brown now playing his 3rd, 4th year. Very aggressive footballers. So Shane Bond now to get the play going. Huskis provides the run from behind. His kick into half forward. Blade was really set upon there. Corns out to Franco. Josh Franco drags it back around towards the goal. St Kilda defence, Darryl Wakeland. He's really got the better of Scotty Cummings just at the moment. Nice
sign there for young Chad Corns at the fall of the ball, with Lade dropping that mark. But he had a bit of momentum up. And that's what he's got to try and do with Cummings down there and also Lade. But if they can bring the ball to the ground, you've got to make certain that you're there.
Port Adelaide coach John Carl spoke during the week saying that he thought his defence was steady enough. But really, they just weren't scoring enough goals. That's been the downfall in the early stage of this game here tonight. They've got to half forward and close enough often enough, but haven't been able to make the most of that opportunity. Whereas the Saints, with Heatley and Everett down the other end, have picked up 3, and here he comes doing it in the midfield. Peter Everett bounces it in towards half forward. Pushed and scragged there. Bond cleaning up. Does the running wide towards the wing. Fly from Lade, couldn't complete the mark. It's down at ground level. Runs into trouble. Franco spills it out wide to Lyle. Away they go. Here's their best build-up for the day. But here's Wakeland in front again. Peckett supports. Heads towards the boundary. Free kick back at centre half. Back to Justin Peckett.
Underrated player, Justin Peckett. 3rd in their best and fairest last year.
Free kicks. 3 apiece. There's power, another chance. Naish getting his first touch for his new club. Cummings. Corns, a little give, onto the left. Franco, which way will it bounce? It bounces through for a goal. Port Power gets its first. The difference is 13 points. Everett against Primus. Harvey actually did the ruck work. Picked up by Naish. Off one step, down towards centre-half forward. Wakeland on the burst. Long bomb was to breeze down towards the Saints centre-half forward position. The mark is taken by Luke Beveridge.
That was a wonderful kick then by Wakeland. Charging out, that's team lifting.
So Luke Beveridge will be kicking from pretty much on the 50-metre line. Having played with Melbourne and Footscray in the last couple of years here with the Saints. So from 50 metres out, he's made the distance well enough with the breeze behind him, and he's happy enough with the accuracy.
2 long kicks and a great goal by Luke Beveridge. St Kilda's reply, a quick goal, 4-2 to 1-1 at Footy Park. Oh, Everett had a shot and missed, gets it on the second one. Naish, a little give. Burgoyne over to Carr. Carr towards centre-half forward. Zilla through his hand. A little bit of dew on the ball now, making it difficult to handle. Can the big fella do something with it? Everett tries for the hand pass out to Hudson. Not successful. Brown comes in. So too about 3 or 4 others. It's going to be a Port Adelaide free kick. So if they're out to score, you'd reckon, against the breeze, it'll be Fraser, 25-year-old. Now, is that a mark? I think it is.
That's Chad Corns.
Young Corns has got it.
And watching him last year playing the under-18s, he was a bouncy type player. And this is the sort of play that John Cale told me about a week ago that he expects of young Corns. A medium-sized player who can jump up, take a mark, because last year they fell down badly on their forward line with only the one major goal kicker in Scotty Cummings with 70 goals. Then Shane Brewer and David Brown, who are not playing tonight, with 17 goals. So it was a pretty ordinary forward line last year, which underlines the fact that they did remarkably well.
Well, he might be a bit nervous, but he slots it through for his first and Port Adelaide second.
It was touched, Peter.
Okay, who touched it?
I think we'll find maybe the man on the mark put up his hands.
Be that as it may, that was an impressive mark, wasn't it?
Take a look at it. Hodgson, did he get a fingernail to it? Ooh, gee, tough call. Tough call. Underneath it. Play continues out on centre wing. St Kilda's footy through the agency of Ozzie Jones. A little give, the hand pass to Lappin. The blind, he does it again. Needs to get the hand pass away. Finally does to Sirakoski, and it's a high kick to midfield.
They settle themselves underneath it. Beveridge charges the ball down. It's Braden Lyle who wins it for Port and puts it out wide. There's a foot race on here. Cripps in front of Franco. Franco conceding front position and giving away the consequent free kick. Cripps. Zilla. Ball drifting away to the left towards half forward. The breeze taking some impact on it as St Kilda move forward. It is quite a strong breeze here at Football Park, favouring the end that St Kilda's going, but it's not directly down the ground, so it's pulling it away towards the pocket. Sirakoski to do the ruck work against Primus. Neither really gets it away. Thompson, Andrew Thompson, kicks it around, brings it around, drags it far enough with the breeze. He has.
Well, Thompson showing Adam Huskus a clean pair of heels there. He's kicked one and had a hand at another one so far in the first quarter, so he's been busy, very productive. So is the Saints forward line. Brown kicks it up inside 50, chance for Carr. Over to Mead. Back to Burgoyne. Burgoyne on left centre wing, clear of Carr. Laid. Could have almost got one in the back. Burke off the ground. Towards midfield. Zilla. Tackled well. Ball jarred free. Umpire says holding the man. Zilla's free kick. Zilla. Breeze at his back. Or has he got it again, Heatley? Quick hand pass. Thompson for his second. Goes at goal but misses and kicks out there behind. He's giving Adam Huskus plenty to think about down there.
In fact, the good quick hands there of Brett Cook. And he's done a couple of nice things in feeding the ball off to the smaller players. And with Stuart Lowe not taking his place tonight, Cooker's lined up at centre-half forward, but maybe at some stage we may see him go into the ruck, and maybe Peter Everett will have a run at centre-half forward as well.
So just on 5 minutes of play left in the first quarter. St Kilda with 5 goals. Paxman carries the ball towards the centre of the ground. Fraser, a good give on out to Frank with the racehorse. His kick, here's a one-on-one contest. Cummings, Wakeland behind. Wakeland does enough. Cummings works the ball. Eagleton, that's his side. He's the left footer. Drags it around, but nowhere near enough.
Gee, Wakeland did very well then, because they're kicking into a slight breeze and he was playing in front of Scotty Cummings, but when the ball went over his head, I don't know whether we can catch it again, but you watch the way he backed back and made body contact, and that's important. You must make contact with the defender, with the forward, because then it just even a bump can take away his focus of marking the ball, and he did very well then, Wakeland.
So the Saints with a free kick. Wakeland's kick falls short of Hodgson. Follows back up onto support, and now it's a boundary throw-in. Boundary thrown some 30 metres around from Port Adelaide goal. Wakeland the job on Cummings. Everett laid it centre half forward, takes it well. Good body work that to put Everett out of the way. He's kicked a sensational goal.
So certainly bad positioning there by Peter Everett for that ruck boundary throw, and it's cost them a goal.
Great kick by Lade into the breeze. Now they might get another one. Kick comes from Eagleton, down towards full forward, off the hands of the pack. Well, Cummings just can't quite get there. Now he can! He snaps! They've got 2 in a minute! The power come back. The difference is just 13 points. Well, great reading of the play there. I thought Cummings had lost his opportunity, Kev, but he got a second chance and made the most of it.
Well, it was poor ball handling by Max Hodgson here. I mean, he could either just take this over the boundary line, just took his eyes off it for that split second.
So Scott Cummings has his first, and Port Adelaide get consecutive goals for the first time in the night very, very quickly. Primus, Eagleton, he's been good. Loses out this time to Harvey. Drags it across the body to the outer side. Keogh couldn't take the ball. Very clean there is Tom Carr. He's been very good across half-back. Chris Nace there behind Keogh. And the ball out of bounds. John Carl, as he normally does, comes down early onto the interchange bench. Still a little bit of the Albertson Oval in his coaching methods, perhaps, KB.
It's an old South Australian trait.
Interference in the ruck work. Umpire Chris Mitchell and Everett.
Yeah, well, that's
very undisciplined right in front of the umpire.
I mean, there's no point in doing that. You just give away a free kick. Could cost you a goal. They've already kicked a couple of quick goals. All of a sudden, they're back into the game, and you give away a silly free kick. It's not the sort of play you want from one of your star players, and someone who you're hoping will give a bit of leadership. Let's go down to Matty Campbell.
Yes, the Port Power crowd, don't forget. Ben Thompson's just come on for St Kilda, picked up his ex-teammate from Glenelg, Chad Coynes, and they immediately give him a boo.
Short memories, eh?
Well, you know, in football, if you want loyalty, get a dog.
So Lade looking for his second. We'll let that one go. Settles over the ball. Kicks from 45 metres. It's very high. And the wind takes its effect on the ball. Drifts across to the one. And Everett goes back to push and shove against him again. I think Peter Everett was really put out by that very good bit of ruck work from Lade when he outbussed him at the boundary thrown and kicked the goal. Everett a little bit unsettled at this stage.
Having plenty to say down there too. Huge kick with the breeze. Everett got the mark there. Brown, little balk under pressure, and subsequently the kick not as good as he would have liked it. That's on the shoulder. St Kilda free kick. The advantage is paid. Taken away by Jones. Jones's kick up towards half forward. The mark is not there. Play on. The Saints with the numbers. Thompson can't get a clean possession. Whistle on play. And it's going to be another St Kilda free kick. Thompson. He was taken high. He's been very busy. Let's see it there. There it was.
It was a very fleeting touch, wasn't it?
So Andrew Thompson. 55 metres out. Breeze at his back, low trajectory kick. Has it got the carry? Wait and see. Yes, it has.
So Thompson with 2 goals for the Saints. Heatley with 2. St Kilda have controlled the first quarter, but a period there for Port Adelaide. The 5 minutes prior to that was very impressive up into the breeze. They're still not to be denied here. A free kick to Franco.
Second half of this quarter started to do some nice things, Josh Franco.
So from between the wing and half forward up into the breeze, the kick goes to the true centre half forward position. Burke couldn't take the mark. Fraser in over the top for Port Power. Corns, all the young fellows in amongst it. And Corns the last man up. Very impressive mark taken earlier in the quarter. They marked in front of a pack of 4 or 5 players. Unfortunately, the shot at goal was touched by Hudgton on the mark. But he'd be feeling more and more comfortable as the quarter goes on. Franco, the kick smothered towards Brown, doesn't get to him. Jones to Everett on the left foot to Lappin, takes the mark, goes to ground, perhaps too readily went to the ground. You need to keep your feet as much as you can so the game actually flows for your side. Dangerously inboard. And dangerously because Peckett was never ever going to be able to run off, was
Well,
it?
if he had kicked it in front of him, he may have been able to run off, but when you kick it high and slightly behind, puts him under a lot of pressure.
So the run now is produced by Cripps from behind. Beveridge out on the outer wing.
Too far out to score Luke Beveridge, but it's not a bad kick. Lappin, the flyer in front. Couldn't complete it. Snappers by Zula. Hasn't got the carry. Big fellows there, Everett. And he marks about 15 metres out from goal.
Well, he did well then, Peter Everett, because he contested down here between half-back and centre wing, and he got those big daddy long legs going and pushed himself hard down into the forward line. So it was hard running by Peter Everett, and that was good to see.
And his height's going to test any defence, and in particular this one.
Push himself into the play, which he did then.
Well, Peter Everett for his second. He's got 2 teammates who have already kicked 2. That one is not one of his better efforts, you reckon? Oh, it's given us a goal, and that's all that counts. It looked questionable at best.
So Everett with 2. And under the minute of play now, Tom Carr for Port Adelaide, round to half forward. Spoiled by Peckett, the loose ball. Half forward, Eagleton to Lyle on the right and drags it round, but there's no Port forward there. Peckett moving towards the boundary line. Decides to keep it in play. Back inboard. Cotton couldn't complete the ball. Bond. Eagleton working it around. Cotton again, but it's a high kick straight up and down. Saints have it well covered. In actual fact, spoil each other. But Thompson up from half forward, runs it down, kicks to half forward. Robert Harvey couldn't complete. Heatley turns, stands, delivers, long, strong. Is the Shepherd successful? He's got it.
Darren Mead having a few words to say to him, but I think Heatley's got the last laugh, at least in the first quarter, because he's kicked 3 goals, 1 just on siren time. Emergency umpire has come out onto the ground. There's a little bit of a to-do down at the right-hand goal. Cummings having a few words down there. Any numbers were taken. Wiser heads, we hope, will prevail. Good quarter by St Kilda. The Saints certainly making good use of this breeze.
Peter, not much news from the St Kilda camp, as you'd expect with an 8-goal first quarter, but expect the Port Adelaide forward line to be very open with the smaller forwards playing way up the ground.
Thanks, Matty. Port Power certainly not out of it as we begin the second quarter. 5 goals the difference. Primus against Everett. 51 plays 21. Won by Port Power. Intercepted by the Saints. Brown. Kick us to half forward against the breeze. No mark taken. Harvey just 3 possessions in the first quarter. For him was relatively quiet. Chips the ball out to Lappin. Heatley provides the Shepherd. Lappin onto his right. Centering kick. Kingsley tries to punch it away. Carr couldn't take the hand pass in front of Sivakowski. It's out of bounds about 25 metres from the behind post. The last thing Port Power wants is a goal to St Kilda here against the breeze. Sivakowski to contest the boundary throw in. Primus brought away. Carr's kick up towards midfield. Lyle popped a heavy knock in the first quarter. Seems to have recovered well. The bounce is okay. Beautifully gathered by Burgoyne. Centering kick. Wakeland in the road.
Well, that was just a wasted possession.
It was.
Wasted possession. No good kicking it away from the guy making a lead to you. You've got to make certain you give him some sort of chance.
Yeah, that was not one of their better plays. Underneath it was Mead. Saints go forward again. Ball kicked by Sierakowski. The bounce is going to be a factor. Port Power with the numbers. Primus provides the shepherd. They might get out of this. Kingsley. Now Bond comes in to lend assistance. It's going to be a ball up. Still about 15 metres from the St Kilda goal.
Because, as Matty Campbell just told us, that they're going to play an open forward line with their small players up the ground, which means that they've got to be able to deliver the ball if they're so far out from goals. Plus, they'll have to run hard to get down at the foot of the contest as well. So it'll be interesting to see whether those small players across the half-forward line for Port Power can work really hard.
So Primus does the work himself in the back pocket and moves the ball to half-forward. Ball to be thrown in there. The shot of the Port Adelaide interchange bench, a very young-looking bench.
Fabian Francis also about to come on. Quick, experienced player for Port.
Primus in front. He's allowed to take the ball. Good exchange of hands. Ran out a little bit of room there, did Danny Morton, but back inside to Bond. His kick, it's a bit of a wobbler into half-forward. Corns caught behind Carr. Carr wins out. This is good. Steps on out Thompson from half-back. Into the middle of the ground. Bond once again. Couple of involvements there for Bond to Lyle. He runs on to 50. It's vacant goal square over the back. But accuracy is not there, and just the one behind. So a better build up there through the midfield. Port Adelaide prepared to move the ball from this near side of the ground to the far side. Better side to attack when you're going to the left because of the direction of the breeze.
And Huskis has just come off the ground, and Fabian Francis has gone to the half-back line.
Oh, gee, that's close. The mark is there as it decrypts. The boundary umpire was right on the spot. Mark will stand, as he had the job in the first quarter on Thompson.
Well, he's picked up Luke Beveridge at the moment.
Kick drops a little bit short. Harvey. Proudmon's holding the ball after he dropped the mark. That could almost be holding the ball, but the umpire on the wrong side elects to bounce it, so the Saints get the benefit of the doubt. Left half forward for Port Power. It's young Carr. Number 16, Matthew Carr. Mitchell Shearer Williams, the three officials. Everett doing well. There's Carr. A little flick to Berg. Back to Harvey. Harvey kicks to right half forward. Port with the numbers. In fact, there are three of them there. Mead. Good old-fashioned defender. Kick left a little bit to be desired. Kicks to a contest, actually. Might be on the shoulder. Going to be a Port Power free kick. The advantage is paid. And again, they've turned it over. So wasting opportunities on their forward line. Keogh, while Lappin, like a soccer goalkeeper, has taken a great mark in front of Bond. A little give. Back to Carr. Trips. Caught. Ball jarred free in the tackle. Bond to Port Power free kick. And Bond will go back to take the kick. In fact, it's not going to be Bond. It's going to be Francis, who's just come onto the ground. Fabian Francis from midfield.
Young Fraser looks to be in a bit of trouble. Darren Fraser, they might be calling for the stretcher.
So Francis' kick within 30 metres goal for Port. Cummings, Franco spoil each other at ground level. Corns trying to barge his way through. Flicks on out. Burgoyne looking for some space. Can't find it. Eagleton fumbles on the left-hand side, and the kick off the ground by the St Kilda defence. Goes out of bounds.
The stretcher's on the ground, so play will be stopped. I think that's Fraser.
Young Darren Fraser.
One of the older recruits in the side. Came originally from Montmorency. Let's see what happened here.
Yeah, it's that right knee, Pete. That left knee. I think what's on display here tonight, Kevin, is the depth of fine young talent that Port Adelaide have got together over the last couple of years. So here's Everett. He reaches over the back. Harvey and Brown work through half-back. Brown's kick really not an effective one. Didn't give the forwards much of an opportunity. Mead cleans up. Works with Kingsley. This is a long penetrating kick. But again,
yes, their kicking to the forward line has been atrocious so far.
Wakeland's kick back to Lappin. Lappin at right centre wing. St Kilda showing great skill. This man's having a great quarter. Just 3 possessions in the first term, Harvey. He's turning it on so far in the second. Everett missed the mark. Good block from Mead. Did Mead keep it in play? He didn't. The boundary umpire right on top of that. Bond was just about to break away. Throw in 65 metres from goal. Good effort.
He's made a couple of mistakes tonight, Peter Everett, but he's been a pretty fine player so far, and it was good to see him then just make that effort to stop them from taking a clean possession.
The throw didn't come in very far. Eagleton, effective hand pass, came and turned to Carr, a long one. Lyle kicks inside 50. Lade couldn't handle it. Cotton does battle down there with Aussie Jones. Cummings, great bump, but the Saints have got the numbers. Burke, if he can control it, it's out of bounds. That will suit them.
And that was terrific play by Scotty Cummings. There was 3 St Kilda players against him, and he's forced the ball to be thrown in, which gives him another chance of maybe snapping a goal from a boundary throw-in. Tried to use some weight there, did well, and then produced a second effort here to try and get across to Aussie Jones, and then another terrific effort to force that boundary throw-in.
Ball out in front of goal. Over the line from Thompson.
He's done a couple of nice things since he's come on. He's a good size. Looks like he's got a bit of pace as well.
23-9. Tells us a fair bit about the possession.
Glenelg player, who was booed when he first came on.
Bowed also from Glenelg, and so too is Chad Corns. So there's a few Glenelg players out there, or ex-Glenelg players. Brown.
It's a clever kick that time by Tony Brown.
Very quick to sum it up, wasn't he? You could see the eyes came up and had a good look down the track, and there wasn't anything there.
He's actually got the ball out of the centre several times tonight as well. He's such an important player now, playing in the midfield.
One of the things I like about Tony Brown is he's very much able to get the ball free. He doesn't necessarily try and have to step out of everything. Very quick in close.
Keogh, look at that. Fantastic tackling.
Port Adelaide's half-forward line just hasn't had an opportunity to work.
And this is the area where John Cale will be looking at tonight, because as we said last year, they only had the one key forward, didn't have any real flankers or medium-sized players kicking a lot of goals, and they're just looking for someone who might be able to bolster that attack, because that's the area where, if they're going to improve this year, they've got to find some more goal kickers.
Well, Everett outpointed Lay there. Does the old 1-2, the kick, not all that good. Carr, who's been very good across the half-back line, cleaning up, kicks in towards centre-half forward once again, but it's all the Saints.
Thompson charging at the ball,
pushing, shoving, feeds it on out to the path of Jones. He flicks it on to Harvey. The Saints are away. There's a heap of space here. Beveridge,
all he has to do is get around
here. Lost a little bit of momentum, regained it now between Jones and Harvey. Harvey on to Thompson. He's kicked 2 in the first quarter. Can he sneak it over the top? No, he can't. Primus dropping back.
Well, until Primus took that mark, it was about the play of the night. Deserved a goal. Keogh, little push in the back for his trouble. McLaren, as Kev mentioned, just onto the ground. Centering kick from him. Saints need some height. They haven't really got it. Can they get something going through Brown from Sirakoski? Left footer, Heatley, the mark. Yes, he's paid it.
And again, Tony Brown was very good with his possessions.
Well, we saw him on the back line with that little chip kick before, to no one in particular when the options weren't there. Now he's up in the forward line. Heatley has a shot. He kicked 3 in the first term.
And he's had to just get it around the corner.
It is that little chip kick again, just squeezing it in underneath. Very clever.
Bit of angle on it.
Jason Heatley 3-1 against his name tonight.
That was a poster, wasn't it, Pete?
It was a poster, you're right. So against the breeze, it's a pretty stiff breeze. Now I'm going to wait for the goal umpire this time. One behind. Okay.
Haven't lost confidence, have you, Pete?
Oh, yes, I have. Goal umpires 2, Landy 0. Still 5 goals the difference, and that's what it was at quarter time. So Port, with 12 minutes left in the quarter, really haven't made any impression on this St Kilda lead. Their forward kicking has been pretty terrible, as Kev has mentioned. Now the Saints again. McLaren taking the hand pass from Zilla. Oh, almost a mark there to Lappin. Couldn't quite bring it down at the end. He loves flying for the mark. Boy from Northern Victoria and Chiltern.
I think that's a good observation, Pete. And I think he's a very good foil for Heatley. Kevin mentioned earlier how Heatley is a very good leading player, and then Lappin's the one that just sort of floats in around the back of the contest and can take a good jump.
So we've got a good leap. Port stacking the defence. Heatley up high. Sierakowski, right foot snap. What's he done with it? One behind.
From that kick out before, Joe McLaren just thumped the ball back. Unfortunately, it hit Keogh, which sort of ricocheted back into play, but it was good, strong play by the youngster, who started on the interchange bench. And I like to see guys thump the ball back strongly from the kick-outs because it is a sign of strength.
So Port brought it out towards the wing. Corns was left one out. Now it's Cripps and Darryl Wakeland combining. Both Wakelands doing very good jobs in the key defensive positions. Both former Port Adelaide players back in 93 and 94. I'm sure just tonight Port wouldn't mind having them. The Saints have got them and they've done a very good job for them. While they're controlling one end of the ground, plenty of opportunities are now starting to develop in the forward line for St Kilda. Zilla finds Harvey directly in front, but still some 65, 70 metres out from goal. Another one, short one. Cripps. Just buying a little bit of time. You think that shoelace was undone? I mean, into the breeze.
Looks like it's undone.
Yeah. So into the breeze, and St Kilda just looking to control the ball. Cripps now. Everyone's moved forward, so he goes long. Dropping back his Primus takes the mark. He had to, he was the only one there. A little bit of a give. Chris Mitchell just saying, Matty, keep them down. Don't get sucked into this.
Silly play by Matty Primus to even do this. He could have lost the ball here. Because when you got the ball, the opposition can do what they like to you.
Bond, Lyle. Port finally run it out. The quarter's about halfway through, though. And they haven't made too much of an inroad. Naish, he'll be very keen to do well with his new club. Morton, the ex-Fitzroy player. Now they want a goal. They might get one. The mark is there. And that's young Nathan Eagleton.
They've had enough players getting enough of the ball through the middle, and that's just haven't been able to convert. Eagleton's been very good right throughout. He just reads the play here, reads the flow to the ball.
15 metres out, he's got it.
Well, the first goal of the second quarter, Port Adelaide kicking with the aid of a breeze, took quite some time. Just over 9 minutes of play now remaining. Eagleton gets there first for the quarter. St Kilda with Harvey and Keogh. Keogh's kick held up in the breeze. Heatley works in underneath it. A little push on out. Tom Carr again. Kicks out in front of Bode, Matthew Bode. That's a good give to Lyle. Bit of run, Burgoyne. Better use of the ball this time from Burgoyne. This is threatening, needs a rover. Corns has a go at it. Wakeland can't control it. Steps on out, Wakeland again. Just taking, didn't tackle correctly there, and St Kilda with numbers able to win the ball. Zilla finally on out to Brown. The left footer. Former Geelong under-18 player to Lappin. The younger brigade now who are notching up their 50 games for St Kilda. Sierakowski, Zilla, they've straightened it up here now. Eventually at centre-half forward, but Kingsley. Cross half back in front if Keogh takes the mark.
Adam Kingsley at the true centre-half back position. Tries to bomb it long with the breeze.
And Morton again.
Written into the ground. Naish, a hand pass. Bode. Terrible kick. The pressure of St Kilda, though, is enormous. They're breaking down across half forward. Zilla onto Lappin. A high bomb. Out towards the boundary. Won't quite carry that far. McLaren. Port with the numbers. Morton screws it back towards where Burke beats Nathan Eagleton for the mark. And two Nathans. Wakeland. Keogh his target. Got a fist to it. Got a couple of hands to it in the end. And the umpire has paid the mark. Kingsley will stand the mark. Keogh short of centre wing. Kicks in that direction to a marking contest. Port with the numbers. Franco had it, lost it. Great tackle. Hand pass could have been better. Lappin. A little give to Harvey, who's having a great quarter. 5th possession for the term.
Good steal.
Laid, beautifully stolen. Kicks long. That's how to bomb it up towards the full forward or half forward line. Weight being used at plenty. Zilla looks for someone going through. Sees the veteran in Nathan Burke. Burke, great delivery, combining beautifully with Harvey again. A good shepherd enables him to have a bounce. That came from Thompson, and the mark taken by Heatley. Against the breeze, a kick and a half from goal. Everett, the target at the back, the big spider, the arms go up, he's got the mark.
And the tremendous pressure up the ground from Zilla, Cripps, Keogh. Just been fantastic tonight for St Kilda. They are very hard players at the ball, not frightened to knock a few guys over. They create crumbs, they give their teammates confidence. And then, of course, at the other end of the ground, you can have the talent of someone like Peter Everett who can put up those long arms.
They are long. The spider for his 3rd. He kicks. Looks pretty good from here. We'll wait on the goal umpire. He says...
So Stan Alves rotating his forwards. Cook are doing the ruck work now. Everett from the ruck to full forward.
Which is what they did last year very successfully.
I think what I'm impressed with is Heatley's ability to come out to centre half forward and actually be involved in the play. And there he is again. He's not a one-dimensional full forward who all he does is but lead. Cook, he's charged down. He's followed it down from the centre bounce. Surging it forward, Sierakowski to Jones, the left foot. He's smart around goals. He's happy with that one.
10 possessions to Aussie Jones. St Kilda's smaller brigade doing the job well tonight. Bounce in the centre. Cook attacks it well. Oh, that's holding the pill. Port Adelaide free kick. Going to be taken by Bode. Hand pass now, Mead. Mead from centre field. So Port need a couple of goals, you'd reckon, if they're going to stay in this contest. Wakeland, that's Shane Wakeland. Now Cook. Back to Jones again. Slips over at the crucial moment. Cripps, Lappin. In fact, it was Thompson. Cotton might have got into his back. The umpire lets it go. Lappin takes the hand pass from him.
Lappin's going too far with that handball. He's going wider and wider all the time. He's had opportunities to come back inboard there.
Morton. Franco. Now here's a chance for a Port goal. Eagleton. The youngster Corns, can he get this one? He missed one in the first quarter. What's he done here? One behind again. I think the first one was closer. That one was touched off the mark, as you may remember. 4-5 to 10-5. So it's 6 goals the difference. The Saints have actually increased their lead during the second quarter. Shane Wakeland to kick in.
Scotty, back on the mark, Scotty. Come back.
Scotty Cummings being brought back on the mark, as you heard from the umpire. Justin Peckett, the back pocket player, close to the half-back, he'll kick the centre wing.
Cook just caught out a little bit there. Primus with the front position. Now umpire Richard Williams will bounce the ball. And Matty, the injury reports, how are we going?
Yeah, tragedy for Darren Fraser in his first game for the Port Power. It looks like a serious knee injury, and that's him for tonight, so tragic news for them.
So Fraser off the ground with the knee injury. We also have Michael Wilson off early in the game with a severely corked thigh.
Yeah, that was a bad blow for them, wasn't it?
Kuskis is ready to come back onto the ground for Port.
So the play's on the outer wing. St Kilda with Brown, just throwing it onto the boot. Naish, look away handball. Kingsley can't go anywhere there. Brown back involved. Good running from behind the line of the play. Kicks on the left foot. Sierakowski can't quite make it. Laid in the front position. Has it go over the line and out of bounds. So Brendan Laid been very good form in the last couple of practice matches against North Melbourne and Melbourne. Playing a centre forward.
Just the 3 kicks tonight and the 1 handball.
Some Port again from half-back. The use of the ball not that good. Lappin. Being perhaps a little bit too cute there. Jones pushes on and out. Wakeland. Darryl Wakeland taken high, but it's allowed to play on. McLaren overruns it for St Kilda. Naish Burgoyne settles from 50 metres out, goes long. He's got it. They've got their second of the quarter.
Peter Burgoyne with a 55-metre kick, getting the Power's second goal for the quarter. Where they're just staying with the Saints.
Well, they trail by 30 points at quarter time, Pete.
It still is that.
And it's still 30 points.
And the breeze hasn't altered, has it? It's pretty much been this throughout the entire game.
The Saints making a change. Coming on is Luke Beveridge again. Ball is at midfield. Huskus, he'll be keen to do well. After Thompson beat him to puck in the first quarter. That's a long kick. Was it touched? I think it's a goal. Huskus likes it. Yes, sir.
Running off the ground, Adam Huskus. He was beaten badly across half-back by Thompson in the first quarter. And maybe that rest on the bench has just lifted his focus a little bit.
So he gets his first goal. In actual fact, his first goal for Port Adelaide. Didn't get one last year.
Because Port actually started to show, a bit of venom there, a bit of vigour, which has been missing in their game, which last year was one of the things that... Well, last year Port were terrific the way that they tackled the ball.
Fair bump, I thought this one, Kev.
Yes, and this is what they've got to do, Port. I mean, they've been buoyed all of a sudden. They've kicked 2 quick goals.
That mightn't have been.
They've got within 24 points, just 4 goals. So all of a sudden a bit of heart. And starting to have a real red-hot go with just a couple of minutes to go in this second term.
Keogh went through like an express train there.
So just on the 2 minutes of play left, Port very much need 1, if not 2 goals.
And of course, we know with the crowd behind them, if they can get a bit of a sniff, they'll get plenty of support. The blood rule there for Zilla. Well, it's not wasting time because time on would have been blown.
That's right, but you can just lose that little
bit
of
momentum, isn't it?
Yep, definitely. So now Port have the opportunity to rebuild it. Oh, he's in trouble early. Played on, definitely played on. Gets the second free kick. The illegal tackle there from the Kilda player. Lukey Beveridge coming in. It's too high. So Primus does it again. There's the first go at it and wins the second free kick. His kick now has gone inside 50. 40 metres out, half-forward flank for Port Adelaide.
Getting a bit willing in close, isn't it?
This last 2 minutes of play is very, very crucial.
Up until a couple of minutes ago, the physical presence on the ground has been all St Kilda.
And as you can see, it's just by 24 points. So if they can go in under 20 points behind Port, they're right in this ball game. St Kilda have something to say about that, but that's answered now by Fabian Francis. His kick comes around, perhaps not far enough. Cummings.
Right, Mark.
Just judged the ball, the flight of the ball a little bit better than Wakeland did on that occasion.
It's made a difference with Port all of a sudden becoming direct in their play. They've really kicked the ball long.
Francis has done a few useful things too.
He has.
A couple of kicks.
Well, you would hope he would. He's an experienced player.
Yes,
Fabian Francis.
And you would expect that Scotty Cummings can kick this.
Well,
he didn't
this has been his weakness in his game.
Yeah, he's got to now have made a very clear and strong decision that this is my goal.
He missed a lot of goals last year from around about this distance and angle.
No, he'll kick this, Kev.
Thank you very much.
A bit of a grin on his face.
Well, she's still tough in the clinches down there. Cummings and Wakeland having more than a few words. It's back into the centre, inside the last minute of play on the half. Lade, Burke. Burke on the shoulder. And the Port crowd won't be too enthused about that decision. Fabian Francis, who's been lively since he came on. Can the Saints get one? Brown, who's been very skillful. It's the half-forward and Heatley. Brown and Jones, their smaller brigade have been sensational. This is Lappin. A snap is well off target, bounces about a millimetre inside the line in front of McLaren. And it will be thrown in St Kilda's right forward pocket. Seconds ticking away to half-time.
So, Kevin, you'd expect to see one-on-one football around this ball. Port Adelaide really have to shut out this chance that St Kilda have.
Sierakowski, Lade. Well, they should be able to do it now, Port. Siren just about due. Burgoyne will take the mark. just up from the back pocket. Peter Burgoyne, long roost. He kicked a beautiful goal before. Up towards centre wing, the Saints with the numbers there. Naish, long looping hand pass, a real hospital job that one. Taken over the line by Braden Lyle, but there is the siren to end what turned out to be a fairly fiery second quarter. And Port Adelaide getting right back into the contest. They only trailed by 3 goals now after the difference was 30 points. 30 points. Great comeback by Port Power in the second half of the quarter, and the difference at half-time only 18 points after it was 5 goals with about 5 minutes to play, and a pretty fiery last 5 minutes it was. Brent Heaver joins us at half-time. You'd like to be out there. It was pretty rough and ready, wasn't it, in the last few minutes?
Definitely. I'd really like to be out there. I mean, driving to the game, I was just thinking, you know, it's just fantastic to see all the cars around, and it was, you know, it's been a good first half. You know, it would have been better if we had probably delivered the ball a bit better to our forward line. It makes it pretty tough to kick some goals.
You're an old Epping boy. I don't use the word old advisedly, perhaps, but that was where you learnt your football, wasn't it?
Yes, coming from Epping in the Diamond Valley League, so...
You've got to be tough to play there.
You do, yes. Played against a few ex-AFL players, Ray Shaw, Steve Easton. He was playing back when I was younger.
Ex-Geelong and North, yep. Yes. Now you've come via Melbourne and Carlton. Yep. But you were telling me before we came in here, you only played 8 games last year. What's been it's a chronic problem, obviously, now?
Last year I had a bit of a driver injury, which was a quadricep, and that I strained it last year, and it's been fine. I trained all through pre-season, didn't have a problem with it. And then last week when I was running in the practice game, I went to kick and I thought I'd been shot. I tore a hole in it, a 3 centimetre hole in my driver muscle, but the doctors now say it's not too bad. It's better than probably if I had to strain it again, because now we don't have to wait for it to heal.
You've got a smile on your face, so you must believe them.
Oh yeah, I believe them. I don't know whether it's true or not, but it sounds good.
It must be very frustrating, having done the pre-season, as you said, to have this happen so close to the start of the real thing.
Oh, for sure. You know, I've put in a pretty big pre-season. I'm feeling, you know, a lot fitter than I think I was at the same time last year, and I was getting a bit of the ball on Saturday before I injured myself. So it is disappointing, and you know, nights like this tonight, you know, you can't get a better night to play football than you know, 25 degrees, beautiful.
A lot of new guys in the Port Power side tonight, but just looking at the game as it's been played in the first half, you looked out of it, and then they turned it around with some well-applied vigour in the last few minutes. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, St Kilda they looked too quick for us. I think that was the problem, and they just ran everywhere. I mean, Robert Harvey started to get a bit of the ball, and he was just, you know...
It's a bad sign for any team.
It is, yeah. We don't want Robert Harvey getting the ball. He's too dangerous, and he always hits a target when he gets it. And then the boys, I thought they were in a bit of trouble when they were about 4 or 5 goals down. I thought, oh, they're gone, and then they kicked a couple of quick goals there at the end, and you know, they looked like they'd picked up the tempo a bit, so that might, you know, bring well in the third quarter.
I remember you playing against Hawthorn last year. You looked about, I think it was 10 goals the difference or more, and you came back and could have won the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's something Port prides itself on, is the fighting qualities, and I think, you know, you'll find tonight that we won't give up either.
All right, and we'll see you back hopefully in a few weeks.
Yeah, hopefully about 3 or 4 weeks.
Good on you, Brent. Thanks for joining us, and good luck for the rest of the season. At Football Park in the Ansett Australia Cup first round, 18 points the difference in favour of St Kilda. Everett and Heatley 3 for the Saints. Scott Cummings has 2 for Port Power. Let's go down to the boundary line now, and Matty Campbell.
Thanks. Unfortunately, as we mentioned, Fraser's injury is serious, and I think I hate to say it, but I think he's going for an operation, and I don't think we'll see, as we mentioned earlier, Wilbur Wilson back on the field. And just quickly, for you guys that came over from Melbourne, it was 39 degrees heat wave here all week, and it's very, very chilly down here now.
Different jumper now, we understand. Well, can Port get back? They're only 18 points down. I guess the first few minutes, Kev is going to be the telling factor.
Yes, look, they were so impressive in that last 10 minutes. They just got in so hard for the ball, which is a good sign. They used the ball better. They decided to kick the ball long. They've got some thumping kicks in their side. And if they're going to play their forwards up the ground, well, they've got to kick the ball long. Scotty Cummings booted a couple of quick goals. If they can just start this third term the way they finished the second quarter, they're going to put themselves right in this game.
Start of the third term, Everett up high against Lade, loses out. Brown. Burgoyne with pace, went without the footy. Thompson to Harvey. Up from the back pocket is Peckett. Oh, Heatley very nearly grabbed the mark. Umpire elects to let it go. Bond intended for Eagleton, too wide of the mark there. Thompson. Bond comes at him. close to out of bounds. Crowd thought it was. Franco on the burst, long hand pass. Lyle, could have been a hospital job. Everett's got him. And it was a bad hand pass, so the Saints take advantage of that. The kick comes down towards full forward. And the man who kicked 3 goals in the first term has got it, and that is Jason Heatley. And 3 goals into poster.
Again, Pete, we see Tony Brown and the skills that he has here, just to be able to use the ball, tosses it up out in front and allows Heatley to run onto it.
This will be just what St Kilda would like in the early start of the third term. Only kicked 2 against the breeze. Heatley's allowed for the win. It's coming around. Burke likes it. So does the goalkeeper.
So St Kilda with Heatley getting the first goal of the second half. St Kilda forming a cluster of players at centre-half forward, looking for the quick break from the centre bounce. Well, they've got that. And the players now swarm around the ball. Keogh back towards Brown. Concedes just a little bit more ground to Burke. Nathan Burke wobbles it in but doesn't reach Heatley on this occasion. Adam Kingsley, very neat back pocket, controls the ball. That's to Lade. Works with Burgoyne. Just has the one option out wide. Tom Carr controls the bounce very well. Left foot over the top of Bode's head. And Beckett takes it over the line and out. So Matthew Bode, the young, fair, curly-headed player. Ben Walton, the player right in the centre of screen, waiting for his chance to come on. Being the Central Districts player. So Primus in the front position. He knocks it back in, trying to keep it here for Port Adelaide. Bode's on the bottom of it. He can't get away, and the ball will be bounced. So Heatley getting the first goal of the second half, just as he opened the game with his left-hand-ended screen. Heatley kicked the first 2 goals of the game. Port Adelaide now working up into the breeze in the third. Plenty of players around it. Fair chance, Kevin, that the game may just tighten up now in this second half.
Well, their first serious hit out for the season, so both sides could tire a little bit, but I still think, I mean, St Kilda's played the better football apart from about 10 minutes where they were strong and very purposeful. And they've opened up well in this third term as well. The interesting point is going to be to see whether they can continue that hard work and open up maybe a 5 or 6 goal break to get back to that 30 to 40 points in front.
Beveridge gets it on to Sierakowski. And the Saints could score another one.
It's a great goal.
That's a goal. So that was his second. Tony Brown, 12-5 to 7-5. The Saints away in the third quarter with 2 quick goals, which was what they kicked through the entire second term against the wind. Lade. Lyle. Towards full forward, one-on-one contest. Oh, dear, oh dear, Corns had a golden opportunity and gets his third behind of the night. Inexperienced there, Kev. What should he have done, or did he do the right thing?
Well, he's just a young player. Let's have a look at him here. We can see the pushing and shoving and running onto the ball. You see a lot of players miss goals when they run into an open goal like that, trying to kick it off the ground. I think they just try to kick the ball too hard. You've just got to really watch the ball closely onto the boot.
I think I would have
just can't have a wild kick.
Kicked it in his hands there.
Well, it was bouncing away from him as well. Kingsley.
So he gets his chance here again. Port come forward. Cummings held in the marking contest. It's allowed to go on. Danny Morton in amongst it there.
He's made a few errors, young Chad Corns, but he has kicked the 3 behinds, and he was responsible in their first goal when he fed the ball out to Franco. He looks like he's a player. I mean, he's probably a little bit overall tonight. It's not easy stepping up for your first main game against senior opposition. He's playing against last year's grand finalists. I think he's shown enough so far to show that with a bit of weight training, a bit of experience, he could be a player for Port Power.
Yep, I agree with that. So now here it is with St Kilda's opportunity. Cripps working with Harvey. It's just a little one out, finds Thompson. Wastes no time, turns, runs, kicks along towards centre half forward. Laid a good mark in defence.
Last year, we did see with Lade that he was very good playing a kick back behind the play. I think that's a role that he does extremely well.
So Meads kick long into centre half forward. Primus is behind. Corns is in front.
That's a good sign, isn't it?
That's the second good mark in front of a contest he's taken. It's been a very encouraging debut here tonight. Corns' kick. Short of the goal line now. Here's their opportunity. Picked up by Danny Morton. Runs in. 15 metres out. He's got it.
Danny Morton kicking Port Adelaide's 8th goal. 15 minutes left in the 3rd term. Port Power won't lie down, as Brent Heaver told us at half-time. Corns went without the footy that time. Zilla, hand pass, Bode. Little look away hand pass. Jones, left half back. Bode came at him. Long kick with the breeze. Bond couldn't take it. Huskus. A beautiful long goal before. Everett stands the mark.
It's been good, Tom Carr.
Very good pass. Probably has better. Or has done better tonight. It's going to be a Port free kick. It should be. It's going to be Braden Lyle.
Carr's been impressive. You wouldn't call him a big boy either. He's only quite slight.
Just out of the back pocket. Just played the 2 games last year, but looks to be an improved player. Good grab by Primus.
Matthew Primus. Quick hand pass onto his former Fitzroy teammate at Paxman. Cummings. Strong attempt to mark. Couldn't do so. This should be a goal. Taking the hand pass in the square is Eagleton, and he puts it through. Nathan Eagleton kicks his second. Port get 2 quick goals again, and once more the difference is just under 3 goals.
Well, we saw the Port Adelaide spirit last year, didn't we? They won 10.5 games, surprised us all with the sort of play that we just saw then, with players prepared to keep on running and put the opposition under pressure. Could have been a free kick there to Wakeland, thrown to the ground.
So Port Adelaide with 2 goals, now to within 17 points. This is the critical stage. They need to break that 3-goal barrier. They need this next goal to get that down within the 12 or 10-point range of St Kilda. Because all evening St Kilda have had the answers as Port have got within 3. They have another chance. Keogh with a free kick at centre half forward. Keogh, just the 7 disposals to date. Some physical presence early in the game set a tone for the Saints. Kicks into forward line. Sierakowski there, unable to get the leap. And the ball goes over the back, over the line for a boundary throw-in.
And Ben Walton, one of the new players for St Kilda from Central Districts, is about to come onto the field.
So the ball thrown in some 5 metres around from St Kilda goal. Sierakowski gives it the knock. And the Port defence is allowed to run over the line for just a single behind. So 2 goals each in this 3rd quarter. More importantly, Port have got them running up into the breeze. Paxman this time chooses to kick long outside the 50. Mark unable to be taken. Lyle cleaning up though for Port. Carr again on the left foot. And Burgoyne in front has the boys pulled away. And from the outer side, in front of the outer here at Footy Park, where Port Adelaide fans are watching their side coming, the ball will be thrown in.
Brett Cook coming off and Ben Walton coming on.
You just sense that the Adelaide crowd is waiting for another goal before they really let loose.
Yep. Primus getting the free kick over to Kingsley. Spears the pass up towards left half forward, and Corns couldn't take it. And Peckett, good use of the body to get rid of his opponent, and the footy over the boundary line.
Been a good player, Josh Franco. Last year he won a lot of the ball midfield when he had Lyle and also Wilson, but tonight he's been mainly doing it on his own.
Primus tried to deal Peter Everett and take the ball from the throw-in. Brown, ball beats him over the line, and also his teammate in Jason Cripps. So still 60 metres from goal. 12.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Primus and Wakeland. Won by the latter. Almost thrown out. Burke grabbed, didn't have it. Naish, solid tackle. So too Zilla. Wearing number 9. Left the field with the, or under the blood rule in the second quarter. And Nathan Eagleton the last to get up. Stan Ells, having plenty to say.
Well, they've been 30 points in front for the majority of this game. And now they lead by 18 points. And the signs are there that Port Adelaide might be just getting on top.
Morton's kick off the hands of the pack, and it will be a throw-in right next to the behind post.
Kevin, during that dominant period of St Kilda, Robin Harvey in the early part of the second quarter was everywhere. But since then, he's really drifted out of the game.
He's had a pretty quiet night. Yep. He's had the 15 possessions, but he's had a lot of quiet periods.
Crowd wants holding the ball. The umpire says, no, sir. Wakeland's kick up towards the centre square. Chance for Jones. Farms out the hand pass. Lappin on the end of one from Cripps. Up towards midfield. Sierakowski, great mark over the top. The running Thompson just outside 50 with the breeze. Could score from there, but misses the major part of the prize. The difference to 19 points. 9-6 to 12-7. 79 plays 60. Approaching the halfway mark of the third quarter. Paxman to bring the ball back into play.
So working up into the breed, Steve Paxman has more often than not gone short, but now for the second in a row has decided to go out wide and beyond the 50-metre line, but the mark's been paid to Sierakowski. Port Adelaide fans not all that happy about it.
They thought maybe Lade got a hand onto it.
So here's in the front position.
Clean mark.
Yep. You just can't beat being the man in front. There's no doubt about that. So
he's rotated tonight between the ruck and centre half forward.
So he's going to kick from some 70 metres out from goal. So a contest will form right on the edge of the 10-metre square. There it is. Burke, handball's back inboard. Beveridge straight under the pump and the high tackle.
Well, let's have another look at this one, Terry.
He was going to be tackled.
Caught underneath the high floating handball.
Oh, yeah, on the shoulder.
It was a bit careless, wasn't it?
Yeah, and really, I mean, it was young Tom Carr, I think, but he had him nailed all the way, and all it needed was a technically sound tackle to be applied down around the hips and gathering the arms. Allows his left arm to go to the shoulder, so now Beveridge with his chance. He's kicked one. Has he got his second? Yes, he has.
2 goals to Luke Beveridge. Free kicks 13 to Port Adelaide, 10 to St Kilda. The old story, though, it's not how many, but where you get them, and that was crucial. Oh, Jack kicking in danger, it was. Brown will take the free kick against Chris Naish. The hand passes on. Cripps. Saints making better use of the break. Oh, Everett, what a mark! Great grab by the Spider.
Well, he certainly is an enormous talent, and they missed him so much last year. When they got to the crunch end of the season, kicked 44 goals, and this is what he's capable of. It's a bit like Sean Wren. He's got that great athleticism. He can mark, jump, bend down, can pick up the ball, low to the ground, and that's what you need in football, when you can kick the ball up high and one of your star players can go up and grab it.
So the Saints have the answers. I don't know whether he's got the accuracy on that kick, though. One behind. 3 goals run to Peter Everett. Certainly deserved better. It was a great mark. And no doubt the mark of the night so far. But the difference is out to 26 points. Steve Paxman, number 14, will again bring the ball back. Former Fitzroy stalwart. Paxman going to the outer side. Nearly Everett again. Thompson, who's been busy. Beveridge. Oh, that might be 50.
That'd be a bit harsh.
Well, I'm just posing the question, Kev. Harvey, who had a great second quarter, only got 3 kicks in the first term. He's had 10 so far, the Brownlow medalist.
with the opportunity to goal. Very deliberate in his approach from 30 metres out. He's poked at it just a little. Really didn't move into the ball and kick it as solidly as he needed to. Just held it back a little bit, did Robert.
Never been a goal kicker, really, Robert Harvey. He's been a wonderful possession winner, but I suppose if there's been a weakness in his game, it's been the fact that probably he's never kicked a lot of goals as an on-baller.
So Tom Carr works with Peter Burgoyne on the outer side. Two of the good young players at Port Adelaide have got together. Andrew Thompson there on screen, formerly on the Footscray supplementary list, and has really found a niche for himself here at St Kilda. Sierakowski, very good over the back to Thompson. On the left foot, immediately into the forward line. Everett over the top, ball spills free. Paxman quickly on it, tackled high by Lappin. Will take the free kick. Free kicks 14 to Port Adelaide, 11 to St Kilda.
Played a big game last year. Paxman came third in their best and fairest. So, you know, he was their top defender.
Works with Huskus. Now to Matthew Bode. Picked up in the pre-season draft just a week or so ago, and not a good kick.
Poor kick, no penetration.
And often happens after a long run like that. I mean, I'm not
think
sure.
with his lack of football over the last year or so,
exactly.
that, you know, playing in this game tonight at this level, that he would get tired.
So Heatley well out at centre half forward now. Kicks, contest, Everett flies, Paxton from behind. There's a push against Everett. Too early, and Mead will take the free kick deep in defence for Port Adelaide.
Mead in the last line of defence. Everett took a screamer about 3 or 4 minutes back. Tried to do the same again. Huskus, goal kicker tonight after being dragged early. Thompson got right on top of him in the first quarter. This is Danny Morton. Another former Fitzroy stalwart. Oh, gee, that was, well, no talking there. Burgoyne back to Morton. They got out of it OK, Port, but it could have been a disaster for them. Primus tried to get it out to Bode, successful in the end. Lyle off a step from right centre wing. Lyle kicks up towards right half forward. Port with the numbers. Burke, great tackle. Ball jarred free. Corns applies a tackle. In comes Zilla. Sierakowski hands the ball back to the umpire for a ball up. Just on 7 minutes remaining in the third term. Fifth game of the Ansett Cup. The Saints make another change. Cook about to come back, perhaps. Walton there, number 33. Bounce on 50. Bode, good hand pass. Now a chance for Port. Franco, the speedster. Beautiful delivery. Cummings has got the mark. That was class footy.
What I liked about that build-up goes back to the half-back line when Adam Huskus, under pressure, decided to kick the ball as far as he possibly could. Didn't worry about trying to do a short pass or trying to find a handball and try and squeeze it through. Kicked it as far as he could. The ball got knocked on, got down there. They had a ball up. All of a sudden, from that passage of play, now they've got a chance at goals. And I reckon Huskus did really well. Made a good decision to kick the ball on, get it out of the danger area. And now all of a sudden they're having a shot for goal through Scotty Cummings.
And one of his goal was that mammoth kick earlier in the game after he'd been dragged. Now Cummings, distance shouldn't be a problem, but he has missed easier goals. Not this time.
So Scott Cummings, the full forward for Port Adelaide, kicks his third. Jason Heatley at the other end for St Kilda has 4. So the two full forwards are going to be the most important players in terms of the scoreboard at the end of the night. Very well judged there by Kingsley. Just enough body work on his opponent. Looks to the outer side. A bit outnumbered. There's Saints everywhere, but Nash takes the good mark. Looked for the quick handball. Was perhaps a little lucky the umpire gave him a second go. So Nash into half forward. Bit of push and shove. Primus over the back. Quick little feed. Corns couldn't take it. Eagleton ready to tackle Harvey. Burke. Cripps. Harvey. Out he comes. Runs. Kicks along to centre half forward. The contest forms. Whacked on out wide. Bond. Port combining across half-back. This is good run through the middle of the ground. They need to hit the target here. Got it. That was great.
Well, he's always had great skills, Chrissy Nash. It's had 10 possessions now with the 7 handballs and the 3 kicks, but about halfway through the second quarter, started to find a few touches. Good to see him playing up around midfield. I think over the last couple of years playing as a forward pocket goal kicker for the Tigers that he's become a bit stale there. I think this change to Port Adelaide will certainly help his career. And there's one thing he's always been very good at, and that is in the skills department. So Scotty Cummings, a bit of a smile on his face, Terry. Pretty confident.
It is. It's going to be a big kick. 70 goals, 50 last year, so some question marks at various times on his accuracy. This is going to be a tough call into the breeze. It's right there, and the St Kilda defence having to work overtime there to force it through for the behind. So a long kick there from Cummings. He kicked from a long way out. And Matthew.
Yeah, just on Scott Cummings' kick there. The breeze has dropped a little bit, so he is getting a bit further with the breeze. So time for Port Power to make a move now.
But you're not getting any warmer, right?
No, I just had a coffee. I'm feeling okay.
Thanks very much. Wakeland. It drops a little bit short. Lappin reads it best. Lovely sidestep. Still got his kick in. Well played, son. Trips from left half back. Spears the pass. A little bit too low for Keogh. Tries to get it to a teammate. Wakeland out to Aussie Jones. Naish going hard at the footy and tucked to a long way from home down there was Jason Heatley, who trots back to full forward. Lead stands him. Throw in centre wing. Neither ruckman able to do much with it. Beveridge, quick kick across his body back towards the interchange gates. Heatley not quite back at full forward, has a go at Bond, misses him. It's going to be a free kick, and we didn't miss him altogether, obviously. So Shane Bond to take the free kick. Right half back. Well, not too much in there. Shane Bond, kick number 7, kick number 6. Naish, strong mark, and gets crushed for his efforts. And you'd almost think 50. He decides not to wait for any decision. Goes on with the job. Not well delivered. Wakeland, good judgment in front of Cummings.
Well, the ball looked to me then to be still holding up in the breeze, so Scotty Cummings certainly has to play in front. But Wakeland's been a pretty good defender tonight. He's done some nice things, Shane Wakeland. Also Darryl Wakeland out at centre half back. They've given the Saints plenty of run.
This is Hudgton. Tried for Sirakoski. No mark taken in that little matchup. It's going to be a ball up on centre wing on the outer side. And just over 3 minutes to 3/4 time.
So Port still working hard up into the breeze, generating some run. Harvey, a little bit of a shepherd there from Thompson, allows him to come round. But Huskis in defence has the support of Naish here. The little give. Naish a forward handball. Bond tucks it under the arm, accelerates away, kicks to half forward. Here's the contest here. Primus in front. The mark not paid for some reason. He flicks it on back out. Port have the numbers. The chip kick. Cummings is the target. Not going to make it. Wakeland, good body work. Pushes Cummings out of the way. Then on the left foot, just towards the line at half back, and over the line now to bounce it goes. So Shane Wakeland doing the body work there. Chad Corns on the interchange bench. And Warren Treadray there next to him. Jones slips at the critical stage. Eventually, Eagleton on the left foot from 50 metres out. He doesn't miss this too often on the run. A long, strong goal.
13 possessions to Nathan Eagleton and 3 goals now. That was Port Adelaide's 11th, and the difference is only 14 points. So this game at a very interesting and crucial stage. Everett thought about the hand pass. The kick was perhaps the best option or better option. Aussie Jones, quick hand pass. Harvey looking to set something up. Has a go at the goals himself, or has a kick in that direction off the hands. And it goes over the line for a throw in. Well, Port just won't lie down. Interesting time for the coaches. You'd think a crucial couple of minutes here for Elves and Kale. Keogh, a little bit of aerial ping pong there. Lap and a snap. That's not bad. He's got it. Great goal.
Had a pretty good game tonight also with 17 possessions, Lappin.
So 20 points is the margin. Port Adelaide working back into the third quarter, but St Kilda with the answers just here in these last couple of minutes of the quarter. Advantage given to Port Adelaide. Handball from Danny Morton to Lyle. His kick in forward. Mark not taken. Bode running onto it. Wakeland controls the ball from the back line. Bounce, sets it up here. Brown goes to ground. Very quickly up again. Good quick hands. Everett feeds on further out wide. Thompson met but gets a handball off. It's good courageous football. Peckett now on the burst into the forward pocket. Heatley on the lead. Doesn't quite get there. Geister doing the work in defence. Out to half back. Peckett and Mead. Peckett happy to go over the line and out. So under 1 minute of play remaining. Third quarter. Port Adelaide 4 goals up into the breeze and Kilda 4 goals with it. So the game very well placed at the moment. Sierakowski. Harvey quickly out. Huskis in defence. Superior judgment there over Jamie Elliott. One of the senior players of the Port Adelaide side. 49 games in 3 years with Sydney. He came over and played every game last year for Port Adelaide. Just holding play up, kicks out wide towards the wing. There's that leap of Lappin that we've spoken about.
It was good play too because he went to punch. He didn't try and take a spectacular mark from behind. He was about 3 deep. Tried to get his fist to the ball.
So another throw in as the clock ticks down to three-quarter time. Mead and Sierakowski. Sierakowski tries the second dip. Naish. Quick kick towards centre wing. Bode has taken the mark, but I think time's going to beat him and Port in the third quarter at least. They got to within 14 points. Bode from left centre wing drives them forward up towards left half forward. That's as far as they're going. But they've got to target Port Adelaide. They're not out of this match yet. Welcome back to Football Park. Both teams kicking 4 goals in the third quarter, but Port will have the breeze, and it's still pretty stiff down there. And has it?
Yes, it certainly has, Peter. It's come back again, so that suits Port. They really have given themselves a chance in this last quarter through the use of some of their little men out of the back line. And one feels now if Primus, who's gone to the forward line, and Cummings can take some marks, they're right back in it. Stanell spent a lot of time talking to his money men, his midfielders, and he wants them to do the job for St Kilda.
20 points is the margin. Port Adelaide got to within 14 late in the third quarter, but they have a pretty stiff breeze at their backs. The first goal or first goals vital in the outcome of this match. Over the head of Lyle. Beautifully sharked down there by Morton. Might get a second chance, but he doesn't. St Kilda desperately defending early in the final term. Not a mark to Eagleton. He thought he had the footy. Naish goes to ground. And it will be a ball up just outside the centre square. First 30 seconds of the final term. This is the 5th match in the Ansett Australia Cup. Primus, Thompson looking for options. Long on the left, Keogh underneath it. Port with the numbers at the fall of the ball. Francis, Everett. Now Peckett from Beveridge, he's nailed. Ball jarred free in the tackle, crowd wanting holding the ball. Keogh tries for something solid, finds Harvey. Harvey's hand pass intercepted, might get another chance. Now it goes through the legs of Peckett. Francis onto the left, bombs it long up towards centre half forward. The mark is there. Taken by Treadray just on the ground. And Treadray with the breeze at his back. Cummings calls for it, he wants it long. Maybe he fancies his chances of kicking it. Francis in the background telling him to have a shot. Let's see what sort of a kick he can come up with. It's not bad, it's going. Is it there? The crowd likes it. One behind only. And that really would have brought the stadium well and truly alight. The difference, 19 points.
John Cale would be absolutely thrilled with the pressure put across half back here. Just felt that St Kilda under pressure. Got to make certain they get their boot onto the ball, tumble it down forward, get it about 10 or 15 metres out from goal, put pressure on the opposition. Can't always be a playmaker, can't always set it up. Sometimes you just got to do what comes naturally, and that is just put the ball onto your boot and kick it as far as you possibly can. when you're under pressure. But it was great pressure by Port Adelaide. They were a bit stiff that they didn't convert it into a goal.
So Shane Wakeland to do the kicking in. Had the job on Cummings all night. Gives it out to Cripps. St Kilda runners really need to make their play here in this last quarter up into the breeze. Cripps and Harvey leading by example in this exchange through half-back. The ball eventually towards the wing. A very good mark across the back there. Young Nick Stevens. One of the young players drafted 2 weeks ago in the pre-season draft. Kicks to within 50. The loose ball there. Carr getting back. Bode stepping this way, that way, just tosses it out wide now. The loose ball, can't take it. Burgoyne, free kick. Free kick to Peter Burgoyne. It will kick from some 40 metres out.
Well, you'll get the distance, Terry. There's no doubt about that. We saw him kick a ripper earlier.
And he's actually kicking from the favoured side in the way in which the wind's blowing in.
Well, he's just got to kick to the right-hand goalpost, doesn't he? And it's right to left.
So a very important kick. Trailing at this stage by 19 points. 13 points is as close as Port have got to St Kilda for the evening. So this puts them right back in it. Peter Burgoyne very deliberate. 12 goals to his career. This is a good kick. Very controlled, very deliberate.
Burgoyne's second goal, the difference is 13 points. A thriller now. Everett, not a decisive tap. Will be the Saints out of the centre. Ozzie Jones, he and Brown have been excellent all night, as you would expect them to be. Beveridge, can he get the quick reply for the Saints? He has! He's bombed it through. And the quickest of possible.
So Beveridge's third goal gives St Kilda again the 19-point break. It's been the magical margin right throughout the evening, this 3 goals. Francis Everett very good in close to Brown. The left foot, here's the opportunity in the front position. Cook couldn't take it. Kingsley's back. First to the members' side, then out to the outer side with a very good kick to Nick Stevens. He wastes no time, the young player from the Preston Knights under-18s to centre-half forward. Naish, not paid the mark. St Kilda from half-back. Tony Brown again. Enough room to take a bounce. Steps out onto the left, the second bounce. Right on the 50 emblem, but there's no Saints at home. And Lade very cleanly takes the ball. Carries it on out himself. Runs a good 40 metres with a bounce. Kicks to the wing. Interference at the back.
Yeah, Primus got tripped.
So Primus at centre-half forward. The target that Port Adelaide need to use here in this last quarter. Kicks long. Over the back. Cummings, all he's got to do is pick it up, give it. There it is, he's missed Burgoyne.
Ooh, what a wasted opportunity.
Sure was.
Got his hands on the ball, Scotty Cummings, but just couldn't deliver.
18 points is the margin again, as it has been, well, pretty well most of the night, you'd reckon. Cripps, who's been good for St Kilda, just up from the back pocket. Saints against the breeze in this final term. He's got in short, but finds Lappin. Marking in front of Cummings, looking for 50. Harvey. On to Ozzie Jones. Their champs combining well, answering the challenge in this final quarter. He kicks up towards centre-half forward. Heatley got 3 in the first quarter. Farms it out to Brown, who's been excellent. Brown's kick into the forward pocket. And Peckett has taken the mark. When we asked the question, what's he doing down there? Following Francis, probably. Now, Justin Peckett, better known as a defender, and a pretty good one, has a chance to kick at goal.
Again, a really well-weighted kick there by Tony Brown. Tony Brown has done that several times tonight. Also, Ozzie Jones in this last quarter. You know, has kicked the ball inside 50 on 2 occasions, which has helped him score goals.
Now, has Peckett kicked it like a back pocket player? I don't think he has. I think it's a goal.
Yes, he has.
81 to 105. It's fair to say he kicked it straighter than some back pocket players.
Well, St Kilda's answering the challenge here. Back to 4 goals again.
Burke out of the centre bounce. Thompson at half forward. Scragging there from Keogh. Gives the ball back over to Port Adelaide. Mead wastes no time, and they need to keep the ball moving. Port really want to break through this centre-half forward position here. Primus, well done from the big man. Turns back into trouble. Was going nowhere there. And the umpire correctly awards dropping the ball. Chris Mitchell, the umpire, right on the scene there. Cross to Everett. Couldn't take it. Gathers it on the bounce. Turns. Kicks well to Sierakowski. A hard-working centre-half forward for the Saints. Heatley caught behind. Laid two-handed spoil. Still a live ball here for St Kilda. Heatley out to Thompson. Backhand handball. Bond off the ground. Out wide. Here's a race. Just when Jones is involved, it is a race. Eagleton, well played. Just sitting it back off the pace there. Very good play there from Nathan Eagleton.
He did play well because he just sweated, didn't he, really? He didn't overcommit himself because if that ball had have spilled clear, there would have been... Aussie Jones at least would have been loose. He's had a good game, Eagleton. He's booted 3 goals. Been one of their pluses tonight.
So at half forward, just on 13 minutes of play left. Morton flicks on it out, but Cook takes it. He's looking for Beveridge, doesn't reach him. Jones hits it up off the ground, OK. Sierakowski, he gives another one out to Burke. The tackle, too high. Free kick against Port.
Because they're upset at the throw.
2 of them.
But the umpire was on the wrong side of the pack.
Keogh into centre-half forward. Everett's
Good
lurking
grab.
behind, can't take it. Primus is back there. Thompson, good give to Brown. But the left foot isn't as good as it's been for most of the night on this occasion. Cross the ground, Huskus is away.
Certainly is away. Braden Lyle likewise. Down half back, Port needs some goals and they need them quickly. Lyle looking for Carr. Couldn't complete it now. Burgoyne, great pace. 30 metres out, bangs at goal, but misses. Well, gee, they moved the ball in lightning fashion there.
I don't think Peter Burgoyne realised he had so much space between him and the chaser.
Did he try and bend that kick?
I don't know.
It was a pretty ordinary
just
kick.
Need that little bit more balance there.
He's got a Matty Campbell down on the boundary.
Yeah, Peter Burgoyne has kicked the goal and has popped up a couple of times. Was shifted at 3/4 time by Jack Carl. His instructions are very simple. Peter, kick goals.
Well, certainly had the chance there. Keogh. This is Knowles on for his first touch. Boy from Gippsland Power under 18. Kicks up towards half forward. Huskus. Well, they're breaking down across half forward Port Power as they have a lot of the night. Kingsley. See if they can get something here. Carr in front. Hudson behind. Burke runs into his teammate there on Hudson. Ball jarred free. Franco has the chance. Takes it over the boundary line for a throw-in. About 45 metres from the Port Power goal. 11 minutes remaining in the match. It's been a tough encounter. The Saints by just under 4 goals. Sierakowski looking more like Chris Langford every day. Burke off a step. Kingsley and Peckett might be out of bounds. It is. Before the Saints back pocket player can grab it. Kick the goal. That may make the game safe.
Yeah, I think you'd just about call it now, wouldn't you? If this was an election, I think you'd say, yes, the Saints are home.
Brown. A little knock on. Good tackle by Lyle. Will he be rewarded? The umpire says... That's a free kick.
It was a throw.
So Braden Lyle on right centre wing. Still time if Port Power's good enough, but...
Well, it's just under 11 minutes. There's plenty of time.
Yep.
They're just breaking down here at this particular contest here now.
And again, Wakeland missed it. Cummings bends the ball back up towards the goal area, but I think he may have missed just about the lot. It sneaked in from behind. Yes, it has.
I tell you who the critical player for Port Adelaide is who isn't out there, and that's a Darryl Poole, Kevin. Just his strength at centre-half forward would take a lot of heat off Brendan Lade.
Well, I know that Jack Cale thinks that he's second only to Wayne Carey as a centre-half forward in the competition. Gives him that size and strength and helps players around. He always makes a contest. He missed quite a few games last year, a bit for suspension, also with an injury. But they need an extra big guy up on that forward line.
Without doubt. St Kilda missing Stuart Lowe tonight, a late withdrawal, as was Nicky Winmar. So their performance has been quite sound here tonight. Very workmanlike in everything they've done. Lappin just drops it in short. Harvey from on the 50-metre line. The ball not carrying to Everett. Plays it along in front of him, keeping it ground level. Stevens barging through for Port. To Lyle. Out to Treadray. Spent most of the evening on the bench. Very good kick. There's some space here for Franco. He's quick enough. Here's the one-on-one contest. Wakeland and Cummings. It's over the back. Wakeland's first back. He shouldn't hesitate. He doesn't. And in actual fact, will pick up a free kick.
Yeah, again, a poor kick there into the forward line. Could have even gone from goal, really, rather than go short to an actual contest when, in fact, he didn't put it to an advantage of his teammate.
So Wakeland just chipping it back out now. And Sierakowski covering plenty of ground. So David Sierakowski from centre-half back to centre-half forward.
He's had a pretty good match too. Cripps in front of Lyle. Saints will try to use up a bit of time now. Beveridge. Harvey. It's been very, very effective tonight. 15 and 9.
I think that indicates how seriously Stan Ells has taken this game, hasn't he? That his Brownlow medalist is out there to play in round 1 of the Ansett Cup.
Bode to Huskis. Huskis from left half back. That's a good 55-metre drop punt. Crowd looking for a holding decision. Naish, lightning hand pass to Burgoyne. Long left foot out to wrestle in the goal square. Which way is this one going to go? It's got through from behind. No free kick to either player, which is probably fair enough. 12-12 to 16-9. So 21 points the difference. Burke in the left back pocket. What a great kick. Zilla wearing number 9. He left the field with a blood rule earlier. That's the reason for that change. And that's out of bounds. So the Saints have just about answered every challenge here tonight. A few of their stars missing.
Well, they lead by 21 points. They lead by 30 points at quarter time, 18 points at half time, and 20 points at three-quarter time. So it's been that margin for most of the night.
Yeah, setting it up with the first quarter. Burgoyne held, but not in possession, but nothing for that. It'll be thrown in.
And Peter, isn't that first quarter so important? I mean, you mentioned earlier that Brisbane last week got away and won it. And I was over here on Monday night where Adelaide kicked 6 goals to 1. And really the side coming from behind is having to do it extremely tough in this Ansett Cup series. Harvey, across half-back. It's a real pattern of play, isn't it? The sides will always have a target to kick to on the opposite side of the ground. Harvey on that occasion had Everett. And now they'll come down this near side. Jones doing the running and the carrying. Some good shepherding for him. It allows him from 60 metres out to have a shot at the open goal. The bounce is important, and all it does is go nose over nose, keeping a straight direction through just for the one behind.
It's looked pretty sharp in this last quarter. Ozzie Jones, who thrilled us in the grand final, didn't he?
And has had very good reports about his fitness work during the summer. Short to Treadray. Left foot up to half forward. Wakeland does the spoiling. Here it comes, Huskis. He's not going to kick 2 for the night, is the defender?
I don't think so.
No, he's not. There has definitely been some great positives that John Carl can take out of tonight's game. I mean, some of the younger players are beginning to really show some great maturity. Tom Carr early in the game was very impressive across half-back.
Both sides are without, star players. They haven't got Poole or Wanganeen, Dickie Brown or Brewer. But St Kilda, you consider no Stewie Lowe, Nicky Winmar, Barry Hall, Jason Daniels. Got some talent still on the sideline, the Saints.
Patchman back on and Mead off. Well, the Saints, Jones, just about got themselves home, you'd reckon. Great effort to pick up there by Danny Morton. And nearly finishes up in the crowd. Former Fitzroy player. Came from Adelaide originally.
in actual fact, was
North Adelaide
equal with Andrew Jarman in the Magarey medal this year. So he's really making the utmost of the opportunities there. Last year's, yeah. Well, this year hasn't quite finished yet, has it?
It is early. It's a long season, Terry. Cotton, good intercept. Centering kick from him. No mark taken. Zilla. Burgoyne. One of the water carriers nearly got in the road down there. Zilla dives on it, shows courage. Cripps. Now for Darryl Wakelin. Kick up towards centre wing. But you'd have to say on St Kilda's performance tonight, they're once again going to be a power in the competition. Keogh on the left, long kick. That's not a bad sort of a kick. It won't bounce the right way for them. Nearly taken out of bounds. Snap at goal by the full forward in Jason Heatley results in a minor score.
Well, you mentioned about a strong St Kilda side, Terry. I think Stan Alves was keen to make a point to his players not to be complacent after doing well last year. St Kilda hasn't had any real success for a long, long time. And in terms of premierships, it's been, what, 1966. So really he's trying to say to his players what we achieved last year was fantastic. But in actual fact, we've got to do a lot better than that, because the name of the game is winning premierships. They had an opportunity last year. They lost it. And you just never know in this game when your next opportunity is going to come along. So hence, I think, a strong side tonight, and he wanted a strong performance, and it's been a pretty consistent one.
So Heatley's got 4 goals, 3. Keogh, can he give him another chance? Big Rod tries to bend it back. Nash is there. Brown, little hand pass. Brown has been brilliant, and so too is that pass right into the arms of Lappin. Twelve and 9 to Lappin.
18 and 7 for Tony Brown. Very workmanlike in the middle of the ground.
So kick number 13. Will he get a goal and really seal the match for the Satyrs? I think he has. He looks pretty good. He likes it. They're home.
Continues to be a key for that side. Harvey and Burke, aided by Andrew Thompson, number 29 you see in there. He's had a very good game, a couple of goals early in the match. Everett then gets depicted in the centre bounces. St Kilda have won quite convincingly there. But this time it belongs with Port. There's a very crude tackle from Zilla. And it's dropping the ball. Well, these 3 umpires better find the back door on their way out tonight. So I don't think this crowd is all that happy with some of the calls they've made. Chad Corns was the player in the front position here. We see he turns, takes the ball, just the prop, and Zilla.
Well,
I think Peter Schwab, the umpire's coach, will have a good look at that one. Right in. Everett keeps it alive. Well played by Corns. Can he get his foot to it? He's thrown his foot at it. Can't get it in there. And just the one behind.
That's his 4th behind.
5 kicks, 3 handballs, and 2 very good marks this evening to Chad Corns.
And Terry, with a little bit of experience, Chad Corns will learn that when someone touches you in the back, that you absolutely propel yourself into the dirt. With arms and legs going everywhere. Hold your head at the same time.
Lappin to Brown. Tony Brown again on the left. Good mark. Bit of courage. Back into it, and I didn't see that one, but Braden Lyle is the recipient of the kick, goes long and strong. That's a fair thump. That's a goal.
Well, look, I'm not quite certain why that mark wasn't paid before to Robert Harvey. What happened here? Looks like it,
the shepherd there.
Darryl Wakelin shepherding Braden Lyle. Didn't look to be much in it by the same coach. I think you're allowed to sort of protect your teammate by just getting in the way.
I think as a coach you'd be disappointed with the shepherding effort. I don't think it was all that strong on that occasion.
Well, that free kick was paid to Lyle because of that shepherd put on by Darryl Wakelin. I think that was a tough penalty.
21 points the difference, 4 minutes to go. 55-metre goal by Braden Lyle, but probably a little bit too late. Brown's kick smothered. Up in the air it goes. Chance for Knowles, gets ridden into the ground. Kingsley, a fumble. Still Port haven't thrown in the sponge. They still trying to get something on the board, but Brown, a lightning hand pass at midfield, one of the best on the ground, if not the best, tries to get it to Heatley. Carr missed it, flips it up. Beveridge, Burke will do something constructive to Keogh. Keogh's kicked down to full forward. Heatley fumbles.
Stevens.
Over the head of Nash Paxman. Now Nash. And again the youngster from the Preston Knights. To midfield. Morton shows courage. Gets nailed. Port trying to set something up. A hand pass back to Stevens again. Stevens up towards full forward. Was it touched? The ball bounces. Cotton snaps. Oh! What a brilliant goal!
So Jared Cotton with great soccer skills on the left picks up his first goal. Port have kicked the last two. 15 points is the difference just on 3 minutes. Another quick one here would be very interesting. Off the ground by Lyle. Bond Burgoyne sweating on it. Hudson towards the line, and it'll be thrown in some 40 metres around from the Port Adelaide goal. Very important ruck contest, this one. Everett controls it. Out to Jones. Good work from the Saints, winning possession. Towards the wing. Sierakowski in the front position takes the free kick against Paxman. Sierakowski coming out for disposal, number 16. 6 marks for the evening. Keogh high to centre half. Spoil there from Heatley. Port have the numbers. Can't quite get away. Francis off the ground. Out wide. Sierakowski again. St Kilda have a chance to create the break here. They missed it, so Brown just out to Burke.
21 kicks, Tony Brown.
And you would suggest 18 of them have found their spot.
He's been very good.
Bad ones. Cotton intercepts. Treadray from the centre of the ground. Tosses it down. Cummings in front. Corns from behind. Good leap. Burke's there. Spins to Wakeland. A controlled kick. A very well controlled kick to Brown. Handball off. Knowles in towards the centre. Finds Sierakowski.
Like Sierakowski's game tonight. Knowles again towards Keogh. He can pick it up. He can. Time to steady. Clock ticking down to siren time. Thompson. Aussie Jones. They share it around. Back to Thompson. Thompson up to Everett. The big fella nearly goes off the ground. Has he kicked a goal? He has. Even he's surprised. It's there.
So St Kilda now controlling the ball. We've had some 60-odd disposals more than Port Adelaide, and that's really the trend of St Kilda's game. Possession of the ball through the midfield and then looking for the break at the forward line. Thompson pushing along in front of him. Huskus won't allow him to go. Harvey on out to Burke. Short kick, a very short kick, but it's allowed to be taken. Rod Keogh. Player on the mark. Some right on 50. Tosses it up high, and so he should with the big blokes up there. Everett, a couple of goes at it. Beagleton works with Bond. A good handball to Lyle. He's got as much space as he wants. Tyre Paddock out there. The kick, a bit of a wobbler over the top of Cotton. Matthew Bode overruns, gets a second go, courtesy the good work from Cotton at ground level. Out he comes on the left foot. Here's the set from Cummings behind. The little nudge, it's allowed to go. Cummings on the great smother. Very strong work, and Zilla works it right to the line.
Just about be it.
Stan Ells wanted to see whether his players were still hungry for a premiership this year. I think they've answered him well here this evening.
Well, I think they have. There's the siren. St Kilda have won it against the very game Port Adelaide, and the final score here at Footy Park. A lot of Saints supporters have made the trip over. The Saints 18-11, 119. They've run out winners to Port Adelaide's 14-15, 99. The margin 20 points. Adelaide goal first quarter, setting up the win for St Kilda. Jason Heatley kicked 4 goals, 3 in the first quarter. Peter Everett also got 4, Beveridge 3, and Thompson kicked 2. And for Port Adelaide, Scott Cummings got 3, Eagleson got 3, and Peter Burgoyne kicked 2 goals.